Welcome back to another episode of Prepper Talk Radio. We are super excited to help you become more prepared and self-reliant. We are radio for the ready-minded, and we want to help you with God, family, and country, and help you become more prepared and self-reliant. Today, in our podcast, we're going to have some exciting things. We're going to have a recap of the Be Prepared Expo that we had in Mountain America in Sandy, Utah. And we're also going to talk about some of the things that we learned there, some of the people we met, some of the cool gear and items, and just some awesome stuff that we found there. We're going to be updating our website soon. So make sure you go to preppertalkradio.com and sign up for our email lists. Make sure you're hitting our social media. We're growing really fast on a lot of our social medias. So we're really excited about that. We're going to actually be super excited to announce pretty soon. We're in talks right now with some sponsors. We have some affiliate links that we're setting up and we're getting ready. All of those things help to support the show. We'd really appreciate the opportunity to have you guys support the show with some of our favorite gear, our favorite companies. All these companies that we're going to do this with are some of the ones that we would buy stuff from, and we are buying stuff from and have bought stuff from. So it's going to be the kind of stuff that you're going to want to have in your portfolio of products and gear and equipment for your preparing needs. So we're super excited to talk about the Be Prepared Expo and what we learned, who we met, and some of the exciting things that we had. So how are you guys feeling today? And how was your week?
Well, I definitely had a great time with you guys and with all the people I was able to meet and just talk with at the Expo. I mean, that's what we were there for, right? I mean, we were trying to promote the show a little bit, right? We had a booth, we had some of our banners up. It looked pretty good. I was happy with it. And then just people stopping by and saying, hey, what's this? We're a podcast, right? And then striking up our conversation with some of these people. I was adopted by a new set of parents.
That was awesome.
The Babbling Brooks.
Yes, the Babbling Brooks, fantastic people. My parents passed away last year, and they were in about similar age range of my parents, but definitely younger. Sorry, Brookses, you're definitely a little younger. But we talked for, I would say, even hours.
Yeah.
Between the 2 days that they were there. They came back the second day as well as that were there the first day. And what a lot of fun people. And in addition to them, met a lot of really nice people. And some people would even say, what, I feel the need to tell you this. I want to tell you this. I feel inspired to tell you this something. And it was something very, very valuable to them. And just good feelings, between these people. And then also there was quite a stark difference with some people as well, right? And I won't get into the detail because I don't like to do that, but it made me think about how I would like to continue to stay more anonymous, right? To stay more gray man, to loose lips sink ships, right? And how many of these people would just come up and say, hey, this is what I'm doing, this is what I have, and great, do you know me? Why are you telling me these things? Mm-hmm. Trying to impress or whatever. And I think that's the natural man in each of us, right? We're each trying to feel better about ourselves. We're trying to validate what we're doing. And we do that by sharing up with others. And sharing is the nice way of saying it, right? Bragging, being, trying to elevate our status a little bit by what we have, what we do. And that's certainly not my intent when I share something with you guys.
A couple of our listeners that we talked to, like, hey, what should I do about this? Or here's what I'm doing with my food storage. What can I do with my water? And we're like, most of the time, we're like pointing them, oh yeah, we talked to these guys, or we use this product, and they're over there, and they're over there, and they're over there. And it was cool. It was a lot of fun. But it's the same thing. Like, there were so many people that are like, not braggadocious, but they're oversharing. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the big cardinal rules in prepping is you don't tell everybody, don't tell anybody. I see this all the time especially on TikTok, because it's our fastest growing channel. Everyone's like, oh, my family, they're like, oh yeah, if something happens, we know where we're coming.
Yeah.
And
I think like, these people want some validation for what they're doing, right? I mean, mm-hmm. I know I've felt that way an awful lot. I'm fairly extreme in the way what I do, and some of the three of us are quite
That's
opposite.
nice. That's nice, Shane. Fairly extreme.
Fairly.
I might.
It doesn't quite go together, does it? Fairly and extreme. So not totally extreme, but fairly. Anyway,
so I'm in the 3%, but I'm not the top 2%.
Right.
What you're
There
saying.
we go. Yeah.
and I'm done with trying to justify what I'm doing to others. I like to be an example and maybe try to inspire, but that doesn't work. I mean, I think, and we've mentioned it before, that to wake somebody, you can't wake anybody up. They have to wake themselves up. They have to take the red pill themselves, and then you can kind of lead them on along the way like Morpheus, right?
Yeah.
Here, let me show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Yeah, some people, they would come up and they would express serious concern about the future going forward. Like, man, it's going to get bad. Just in general terms, right? But really express that, and I think they're also trying to wake people up in their own way as well. Whereas see what kind of reaction they get. I know that's what I do, right? I'll say something maybe intentionally extreme just to see the reaction and see if somebody glazes over, or if they actually say something about it, right? If they actually say, well, what do you mean? And then I'm in, right? But I remember one
point, Shane, you and I looked at each other and were like, some of these people, we would like look at them and they would think, well, they're surely going to come up to our booth and talk to us. And they just passed us right by.
Yeah.
And then there were some people who were like, man, that guy will never come up to the booth. And he was right up there talking, telling the whole thing.
Yeah.
And so that was really cool.
Very
to see.
Unexpected. Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people, at an event like a PrepperCon or a Be Prepared Expo, or whether it's at your city or whether it's a big state one or Be Ready, whatever, if you have a convention like that, I feel like there's a little bit of, I could probably trust these people. They're probably just like me. So there's just a comfort level that I feel like they're going to share more in that situation than they probably would. So it's like when a bunch of gray men get together, they might share their techniques and then go back out into the world and become gray men again. You know what I mean? So it's like, I feel like there's a little bit of that. So that was okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That was cool. It was cool to hear what people are doing and some of their techniques and tactics. And
yeah, the nice thing is we're building community. Like even in prepping, the communities, there's two types of communities I find. Like there's your prep community, which is you've got your operations command, you've got people that have different skills and different things that you're working together physically. Community, right? And then there's your expanded community where you'll share ideas and camaraderie, but you won't share details.
Yeah.
Like I know a ton about both of you and kind of what your plans are. You know a ton about me and what my plans are. And we all have different beliefs on how we're going to do what we need to do, but we're 100% going to support each other no matter what. Like that's the hill I'll die on. And then I meet all these other people and it's like, okay, I know I personally have a mission to help as many people as possible. Like Morpheus, it's like, I can only ask the question, plant a seed, and let them take the pill they want. Right. And it's these events and this podcast and TikTok and Facebook and all the other platforms we're on, YouTube, guys, go subscribe everywhere. It's fun. We have different content on almost all the platforms. So if you're missing something, that's your fault. But it's fun because people want to validate what they're doing. And when they talk to us, because we're in the public eye, it gives them some validation. Hey, I'm doing this and this and this, or hey, I don't know what to do. Right. And it's like, there's no judgment. There's no bashing. It's, hey, here's what I would do if I were in your situation. Here's where you need to focus your time right now because you've got XYZ taken care of. We need to get Q&A, like whatever. And that's one of the things that I love the most about the event, because when I was running PrepperCon, they were like ridiculously amazing events that I couldn't do anything fun. And when I got to go to this, I got to meet so many people. I got to talk to all the vendors because a lot of them are the same vendors we had. Like Be Prepared did a great job getting some really good vendors out. Like I gotta give him some of this. Like
yeah, seriously, Chris did a good job.
He did a great job getting some cool vendors. I mean, he had a lot of gun tables there, so you could see all the different things there. Buy whatever you want. They even had a toy thing for the kids, which normally I'm like, what? But with my kids, they're like, I want a dinosaur. I want a toy. What? I'm like, fine, let's spend $20. You know, got them some stuff, and they were content because I then walked them around for another hour and a half, and I probably wouldn't have been able to go another 10 feet had I not gotten them something because they were already melting down. I mean, 3 and 5 years old. Come on. But I think all in all, and I'm excited to hear this. He's coming back next year. He's already booked the location. He'll be back. There won't be a Republican convention going on the same weekend, so we'll have more parking available, which is
thank goodness.
Primo. But yeah, it was the audience. There's so many good people, and it was so effective. And I saw people just happy to be there. And I think everybody that went got something good out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, everybody, that's the kind of event.
Yeah,
it's the right kind of event.
Even the vendors
needs to feel like they're doing something right. You know, they need to feel they're making some progress. And this definitely, I think, opened some eyes for some people. For me, I learned some really cool stuff. I mean, you saw me, you physically saw me in that learning process where the light went on and my mind changed almost completely about something in particular, which we won't talk about, because I changed my mind back again the next day after I put more thought into it. You know, I was going to commit to something really big. And then I went back to what I had learned. I'm like, okay, no, that doesn't I'm not totally comfortable with that. Let's start over, reset.
Which is a great learning for everyone that's listening. Like, if you're set on something, if you've studied it and everything makes sense, and you're like, yes, this is true, you know, you're going to have salespeople on every product under the sun. And you're going to have guys pitching different things on YouTube, on Facebook, like everywhere. And when you go into stores, they'll pitch you. We live in a marketing world. Like, it's ridiculous. And they're going to try to convince you, and they may have some really good arguments and convincing information. But go back to what you know and measure it. Does it meet this criteria? What are the criteria for me to be able to make those decisions?
Yep.
Which is, you've got to do that before you go into the buying scenario. Do your research. And that's why we're here. Help you do your research before you go buy something. Another thing, man, that's a lot of money. You could be gone.
Yeah. And another thing I love about these small expos is that every vendor there, you know, they're an entrepreneur. They develop their own product. They they believe in it, and they're not necessarily salesmen, right? You know, because I mean, that's what I do full time. I'm a sales guy, right? And sometimes I sound like the used car salesman, and I hate it, right? I mean, I see here, you know, make a deal with me. You know, it's horrible, but a lot of practice. Have had a lot of practice with it. So, but you know, all these people, you know, no pressure, just super nice people. This is what I did. Like for example, I did an interview with Portawell. Portawell is, go to check out myportawell.com. It's this water filtration system. It has a water pump like from an RV on a little portable handheld device that has a carbon filter on one side and a ceramic filter on the other side. You hook up the tubing, you put one side into a pre-filter into the water, and outside out the other side you got to purified water. You got filtered water. And 40, you just flip a switch, hook
40
it to
gallons a minute.
Yeah, like 40 gallons a minute. I haven't dived into the specs just yet, but you hook it up to a 12-volt battery, flip the switch, and it pumps water. And I have lots of water filters. Most of them are hand pump filters or gravity filters or whatever. I didn't have something like this. I really felt this met a need for me and my family. I was thinking, you know, I can turn this on and I can pump filtered water right into my trailer, right into my RV tank. Yeah. Or if I, you know, pumping water, filtering water takes time. This, I could get enough water for a day in literally a few minutes, standing by the creek and then haul it to wherever I'm at. So this really filled a need for me when I saw this, and I had seen it before, but I didn't dive in. But when I saw it, my light turned on, and like, okay, I'm buying it.
So strategy, Shane, you should have got one of those electric scooters or bikes with pedals on it, because then you could covertly electric yourself over to the river, fill your water fast, and then covertly get back.
Hook it up to the battery
plug it into
of the electric bike or of the electric scooter.
And then get home and recharge everything off your panels.
And just carry the water on the scooter.
I finally figured out why those scooters were there.
Why is it? Yeah, electric bikes, electric scooters. Yeah, no, there's exactly. The wheels got to turn. They got to turn. And for me, sometimes it takes a long time. like the one our neighbor there with their product, and then for this Portawell as well. I'd seen it before, and I think subliminally or in back of my mind, the wheels were turning and the light went on, and I made the decision. But I had put a lot of time into teaching myself about purification and filtration, and putting myself and my family and our needs through different scenarios and different plans, and this just fit right in. So I made the decision.
Yeah, nice. You can only have so much water in storage, and at some point you're going to drain that. And what are you going to do when you need to refill it and you've got no grid? Yep. This pump is the perfect thing for that. We actually had an opportunity. Shane interviewed the guy who invented it and made it, and that's on our podcast. So go back a couple of whatever and look up that interview. It's with Bob with Portawell and Shane's interview, and listen to that. And we'll have links in the descriptions of this video as well as that video for our affiliate links for you to be able to pick one of those up if it's a good fit for you and what you need. And I'm going to get one too, by the way. It's just one of those, it's one of those things that's like, it makes so much sense. It's like a no-brainer.
Yeah. One is none, two is one, three is just right.
See, I've got 6 gravity fed systems, and I definitely need an electric powered system too. Or I have a hand cranked one, and that's fine and all. But like, the least calories I can expend, the better. Which actually brings me to, I did an interview with Marcelo over at Food Storage Depot. We'll have a link below, but he's awesome because he works with the food production side of things. They have the food storage, and they've got Mountain House, and they've got their own line. But like a lot of the places you'll go and you'll talk to them, they're like, yeah, they're just the seller. Like but he works with, like, you go back, and I learned a lot about wheat and beans, surprisingly. I've been doing my beans all wrong. Did you guys know that beans harden over time?
I didn't know that. Yeah, you told me that. Yeah.
So after about 3 to 5 years, they start hardening. Unless it's a low quality bean, then it's already hardening. And so if you're buying your beans uncooked, you're going to have this problem where you're going to have to water bath them longer or pressure cook them to get them to where you can eat them comfortably, right? And so understanding that, hey, okay, if I buy pre-cooked, freeze-dried, or pre-cooked then dehydrated, I'm going to have a much easier time, because you want to conserve as much water as possible. Well, if I'm water bathing and then I'm boiling, that's 2 different batches of water.
That's a lot of energy too. You're putting into cooking those beans. Of energy. Where are you going to get that energy from? Is it from gas, or is it from firewood, or whatever? That's a lot of energy.
And if it's solar, you're there for a month. Like, seriously, like if you're trying to sun oven it, like we just have to take into consideration what are the right things for me based on knowing the food, right? And coming from the manufacturer of where the food's coming from, it was really neat to see. And he was showing me like the tools they use to determine the grading of water and wheat. And determining like what's going to last the longest, because wheat, if stored correctly, is indefinite. Rice, if stored correctly, is indefinite. Like, there's no expiration on those. Beans, if stored correctly, can be indefinite, but it's better to make sure that they're preserved or cooked then preserved, right? Canning for me is like the simple win for everything. But when you're looking at your longer term stuff and you want to have a larger supply, go past a year, some of the stuff you can really doesn't do well after a year. And so having the right foods at the right time make all the difference. And so we did an interview. Guys, go check that one out as well. Plus, I mean, I've known him for 22 years. Knew he was a little bit into prepping. Didn't know full on until about 8 years ago.
I listened to him. I listened to his presentation on stage, and I was just glued. He was, he knows his stuff. I tell you, it was good.
And did he talk about 7 prep steps, or did he talk about just food?
Just food and the Mylar pouches, foil pouches, and cans and so forth. Yeah, just super intelligent. Stuff I didn't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason why
300,000 in mistakes learning all this stuff.
I was just going to say that's part of the reason why we go to these events, because if Scott is learning something new and Shane is learning something new, I promise you I'm learning something new too, by the way. And we have an expertise. We've been doing this for long enough, and at the level of knowledge that we have, we're learning. And so there's some other interviews that were done that we did. Anybody else want to share any of those?
You guys know, you guys know Dale. Fortress Clothing.
Awesome.
I love that dude. He was at the first PrepperCon, and I see him at like every event, gun shows, whatever. Like he's everywhere. He was on Shark Tank. Didn't get a deal because the sharks, you know, couldn't handle the heat, the warmth of this cold weather gear. Like it is. And when I got it, like I love this stuff. I love his stuff because I've got like Gen 1 of his cold weather gear, and it's good for I think -30 degrees. Wow. But you don't have to move. Like you don't need to sit in a sleeping bag. You don't need to be in a tent. Like you can just sit there and chill. Like he even has a video on the website where they take a person, tie a rope around their waist, and push them into the lake. They break out a hole in the ice, but basically you pull them out of the water, and they're in 45 seconds back to comfortable temperature. They're no longer in hypothermic threat.
Wow. Because
it wicks the water away so fast, but it retains the heat. And it's amazing technology. And now they have 3 different types of layers that you can use. And it's comfortable. One of the guys we met, the Babbling Brooks. He wears Fortress clothing all the time.
Yep, all the time.
Because he can't regulate his temperature. He's got some medical issues, and it's like, oh my gosh, that's the most affordable method I've seen.
Yeah.
Long term to take care of that medical need. And so it was like, oh, done. So I'm going to be buying some more of their stuff.
So if your wives are always cold, get them in this, and they will not complain again, right?
Absolutely. We're going to have a link for that too in the description for sure.
And if you use the promo code PREPPER before June 1st, you get 20% off.
That's legit.
That's a huge savings. So guys, PREPPER, PREPPER, 20% off at Fortress Clothing. We'll have that link below and in the video. Oh my gosh. Like he is probably one of the coolest dudes in the whole world of preparedness. Like genuinely cares about people, genuinely loves everyone he talks to, or at least everyone I know that he talks to. Just authentic all the way through. And one of the best guys.
Yeah, very good.
And I love their gear. Like I've got some. Shane, you've got some, right?
Fortress?
Yeah.
I don't
Not
actually.
Yet.
I don't.
I know Paris is getting some. But I'm getting their light layer.
With the promo code, I just might get some.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
That's my next purchase is the lighter layer, because for what I do, like I hate putting on coats, taking off coats, putting on coats, taking off. And to just have a general regulated heat that just stays consistent inside and outside, like that's perfect for me.
And I'm a believer in getting what you need before you need it, right?
Seriously.
Yes.
And we're coming into spring, summer, so definitely best to get things before you need them as fall and winter come on. So
there's an old saying, the best time to fix your roof is when the sun is shining, not when it's raining.
That happened to me. My roofer fixed my roof, and then it rained and got everything wet. Anyway,
speaking of sunshine,
I had the experience.
Speaking of sunshine, you like the segue?
Nice.
That golden sun in the sky, that orb so far away. I actually met the Gold Girls, who Jesse, who was on season 1 of The Apprentice. Surprisingly, we had Shark Tank and now season 1 of The Apprentice.
Wow.
She's one of the Gold Girls, and they do. And some of you guys have listened for a while know that I got these guys into 7K for a little while, and they're like, okay, whatever. I enjoyed it. She does 7K. She does really well with it. And we talked about 7K, kind of her experiences with it. And there's another video podcast and everything else about that with her. Super fun, just a neat person. But she goes into, we talked about like the safe Sound Money wallet, which I think for everything they do at 7K, I think it's my favorite of all the things they do. I think it's the best value of all the things they do, because you can put your money out of your bank account into gold and silver at their vault immediately. And so as money starts going, hey, we don't have any value, right? We've all watched that. It maintains value because it's in gold and silver, and you can have that shipped directly to your house whenever you want to, or move it out back to your account to go spend it.
So instead of the dollar losing value through inflation and even depreciation, that it's in gold, and so your value goes up, and then you convert it back to dollars and spend it.
Yeah, or whatever other coin you want to, because
or into metals, or into physical metals, and ask for delivery.
Yep.
Yeah, and then they also have an exchange where you can take all your collectibles, which Shane doesn't like collectibles. We understand.
Yep.
I have like, I'm a hit and miss with it because I've got collectible pennies and quarters and stuff I've collected since a child. So for me, it's like, woohoo, this is fun. So I've got collectibles at my desk all the time. Like I got collectibles and I think it's fun, but it's like, I'm in the process of selling these because I looked at it as a short-term investment for collectibles. Take it. Now this one, let's see. This one is an MS-70 I got before I started doing 7K. But this one, I just priced it out. I got this one for, I think, $50. It's worth almost $200.
Wow. Just like the song goes, you got to know when to hold them. You got to know when to fold them. Know when to sell them.
Yeah. And so this one's going on the chopping block. And I also have this Georgia Peach one. This one's going on the chopping block. They're both going to get sold. And I'm going to go buy rounds. So, and I'm just,
bullion.
To me, that makes absolute sense. Bullion. Yeah. Bullion rounds, whatever.
Well, just, absolutely. Just like with gold and silver ratio. And there's always a time when the ratio favors one or the other, and you switch back and forth from gold to silver to get more ounces of that metal.
Yeah. So check out their link below, guys. They were fun and a lot of good information there as well.
Cool.
Yeah, that was super cool. I did an interview with a guy at Devos Outdoor. They do this light that was super cool, and I thought it's a telescoping lights, an LED light, and it's patent pending, so it's really their technology that they developed, and it as a 9-foot pole, up to a 9-foot pole, because it's a telescoping pole. And when you're out at a camping ground or you're in your backyard and you need the light way out in the middle of nowhere, this is a perfect thing. It's totally portable. So they got a solar panel that they're trying to, they're working on developing so that it's actually connected and you can have consistent battery power there. And one of the cool things I was thinking about was that, when you're at camping, you have a flashlight, which is in your hands, which means you only have one hand when you're doing things. And then you might have a headlamp. And so you get both hands, but now you turn this way or that way and you can't see the other way. And so with this telescoping lens, it just really, the higher it goes, the more it can illuminate the whole area.
It's like a miniature parking lot light, the overhead light. Yeah, pretty cool.
And then it pops
it's like a directional lantern above you, right? You can have one direction on, two directions on, or all directions
on. All 360 degrees, yeah.
Yeah, you could put that, if you had a power out in your house, you could telescope that thing up to the ceiling and have it illuminate the whole room. They had a few other really cool products that we talk about in the podcast, in the interview that we did. So check that one out too. That one was really cool.
Awesome.
And let's see, I did Isaiah. I talked with Isaiah Price over at Sofo Survival. He has a shop in Spanish Fork, and he's got a great story. Just a great story. And he started a shop. He's not just a prepper, but he started a store to really help others get prepared as well. Similar mentality as what we have, with his desire and design to make sure that he gets quality products into people's hands that are going to last and they're going to be at a good price. And so he's got a great store. And then I did the last interview. I think
you're his number one customer.
Why is that?
I talked a couple times.
What?
And we laughed about how often I'm on the phone with you. And he's like, hold on, I got to hop into Sophos. And he's like, yeah, he's here like almost every 2 to 3 weeks. And I'm like, yeah, that's what it seems like. And he's like, oh, it totally is. I think you're his like, you're keeping him in business. So
well, he's in your backyard there, right?
Yeah, he lives up the road, and the store is so cool. Like it's like a kid in a candy store. I don't care about the candy stores. I care about prepper stores. I go in
exactly.
Knives, I'm first aid kits. Ooh,
really jealous with a lot of these guys who started their own business. And they're living their dream, right? Maybe they're not making much money. I don't know, but I'm sure they're loving their job. They're loving their work. I wish I was there too, but I like my job. I'm not a complainer. I'm not going to complain, but awesome. I'd rather be in that world full time.
Yeah. The last guy I interviewed real fast is a guy who created a system where it's actually, he became certified to be able to offer it. And it's important for people who want to have safety and security in their homes. And it's a film that goes over windows that keeps people, that extends the time it takes to break the window. Now, it's not a permanent, you're going to eventually, if they keep hammering away, they'll eventually break the window. But if somebody hammers a window and it's a second or two, and they get in, reach in their hand, unlatch the door or unlatch the window, and they get in, and you don't hear anything because it took them that fast to do it, you're going to have it's going to be a bad situation. But if that guy's got a hammer for 30 seconds or a minute, you're going to hear that. Eventually you're going to wake up and you might be in bed asleep and thinking, what is that hammering sound? And you'll be able to get up, get ready, and get prepared so that if that dude continues to go for it, he's going to, you'll be ready for him. And this film goes over your windows, and it's a great product. His name is Jordan, and he's from Bastian Defense. And we're going to have a link in the description below from him too. Yeah. And that's a really good, I think that's a good interview. You'll want to watch that. And the reason why he did it is a very same reasons why we're doing what we're doing. And you'll see his mindset and his ideas. He's a young guy, and he's started a business, and he's doing the right thing as far as I'm concerned. Anybody who's young and entrepreneurial is right up my alley.
Yeah, I did put a security film on my sliding glass door, just like you're saying. I was concerned somebody could come up with a bat or something, break that, and be in the house within seconds, where now it's going to slow them down enough to where they either get discouraged and take off, or I have time to get out of bed, grab my shotgun, and be prepared. Just like you said, it's absolutely worth its weight for those main first level windows, any glass that's easy to get to. Yeah.
I don't know why people still own guns. Like I told you guys a few weeks ago, I lost all mine in a boating accident.
Right.
But I still have my miniature cannon collection, and each one is pointed at a window and a door. And because they're unregulated, no, I'm just kidding. I wish I had that. That'd be awesome.
That would be so cool.
Or my own version of Cujo. That would be also
no
awesome.
doubt.
Yeah.
We do have a neighborhood cougar, not the female variety that hits on younger men. But what? But we do have actual cougars in my neighborhood. So wandering around looking from house to house at night, not the best idea where I live.
In your
yeah, it's like some jackwagon got eaten by a cougar last night. Looks like he was peering into somebody else's window. That's the kind of story that's going to happen. So
yeah, you were already on the news.
Lights are all off. Cougars are already going to be more excited. So maybe both varieties at that point. But I think the biggest thing is there's something to take out of every event you go to. You guys are good. Both turn red. This is awesome. There's something you can take from every event you go to, even the bad ones. But at the end of the day, I would score this a big win for the public. Be Prepared Expo. They're going to be back in 2023. Go to their website, bepreparedexpo.com. We're going to help them out again because it was fun for us. As well as we're going to be around. I mean, indefinitely until things go sideways.
Yeah,
so stay tuned.
Yeah.
I think the giveaways were super cool. That was so neat to be able to have giveathons.
Definitely
every
the
hour.
biggest giveaways I've seen for that size of show, no doubt.
Yeah.
Well,
an RV.
Yeah. PrepperCon, we gave away a $5,000 geodome and probably $30,000 worth of stuff combined. He probably gave away $65,000 worth of stuff.
Seriously.
Like, that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
Like the camper, the deuce and a half, tons of gold and silver, tons of OVA Easy, Mira Safety. Oh my gosh, love their stuff.
Yeah.
They're on the site. Go check it out, guys. Like, there's so much stuff given away. First aid kit, like it's just everything. And I'm like, way to step it up. I don't think I've ever seen an expo do that, like give that much stuff away. Not even like the home shows. They're like $30,000 vacation to such and such. I'm like, no, like these guys just, get a free roof. Like, no. This was better.
Mm-hmm.
So guys, get there next year. I'm interested to see what he does to up it because he's going to up the game. He was talking like he's going to. Chris is a good guy.
Yeah, seriously good guy. That was excellent. Well, with that, let's close up this hour of wonderful talk. I felt edified. I had a good time. I hope you guys all felt as you were listening. You got some great information, especially as we recapped the expo, as we jumped into the different people that we met, the interviews that we did. So if you have any more information that you want to know, or if you've listened today and you still feel like you're needing more or wanting more, join our Facebook group, go to our website, preppertalkradio.com, go to the resources page, put in your email, get on our email list, download the resources that we have available to you there, get into our Facebook group, join us on our TikToks and our Facebooks and our YouTubes and everywhere we are, and make comments, ask us questions, get involved with the community that we're developing there. A lot of people who were at the expo are now in the group, and they've already commented and already made some friends, and we're already getting some value, and they're sharing things that with this new Facebook group that we have, and it's awesome. Also, we just launched our Rumble channel, so if you want to watch on Rumble, we're there. And so please have a wonderful week. Be prepared, stay prepared, be ready, stay ready, get ready, and make sure that whatever you do, wherever you are, that you're always constantly ready, because spiritually, physically, emotionally, have God, family, and country as your mantra and as your motto. So with that, thank you. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you on the next podcast.
Happy prepping, everybody.